After years of searching, I've finally found the best game mode in Minecraft, or rather created it. This is no basic game mode that you'd expect like Skyblock or Bed Wars, but rather a combination of two already familiar game modes merged together to produce a beautiful Minecraft experience. Most of us have seen the popularized Minecraft Earth map used before on SMPs, Townies, and Lifesteal servers, but never like this. Introducing Minecraft Earth Factions, a brand new experience built for players to go head to head with other teams or factions through raiding, PvP, trapping, and more. Now I know what you're probably thinking, oh Lion, we've heard of factions before, not like this. Let me explain. You join the server for the first time, and rather than being bombarded with flashy new features that don't make any sense or require you to max out your mom's credit card, it's calm. Just like we entered this world with nothing, it's the same for Earth factions. The only difference is that you spawn in a pool of water, not a hospital, but you get them. You're left to your own devices to figure out what to build, what faction you want to join or create, and where on Earth you want to build your base. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the concept of factions, I've gone ahead and asked ChatGPT to explain it for me for simplicity's sake.
Factions is a popular game mode in Minecraft where players form their own groups or factions and compete against other factions for resources, territory, and dominance. Players can build their own bases, gather resources, and engage in PvP, player versus player combat, with members of other factions. The objective is to become the most powerful faction by acquiring resources, expanding territory, and defeating rival factions. The game mode emphasizes teamwork, strategy, and cooperation within a faction, making it a popular choice for players looking for a challenging PvP-oriented Minecraft experience.
Although it is a little bit wordy, that basically sums up the core features of factions, but let me tell you guys, Earth Factions is so much more than just that. The server itself is called PvP Globe, which will be linked in the description. I personally grew up playing factions since the age of 8, I'm 18 now, so this game mode holds a lot of nostalgic value. Unfortunately, just like the leaves of this tree start to slowly decay over time without the logs, this is exactly what happened with classic factions. As a whole, Factions has lost its core values over the years and shifted into a pay-to-win game mode, causing it to lose its appeal and player base. I'm attempting to salvage that with this server. Let's get into the basic features that you need to know to do well on the server. I'm going to explain this the quick and easy way so I don't keep you too long, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask us in the server Discord. I'm going to break this down into 3 different categories. We're going to start off with raiding and then follow up with defending and economy third of all. To start off, we've got raiding. First, you've got to find the base. This can be done a number of ways, such as running around the Earth aimlessly and using the command /f map to see if there are any claims. Alternatively, you can use a much more strategic approach to this by doing /map and opening the map of our Minecraft Earth. Not only can you look and see if there's any base structures popping up, but you can also view faction claims on this map, easily identifying where factions have made their base and settled down. Factions are only allowed claiming one base, so it shouldn't be too hard to identify where they're located. Once you've located the base on the map, all you've got to do is get there, and then you've got the challenge of actually getting into the base. If the faction you're wanting to raid is a little bit smart, they're going to have their base blocked off, and it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get inside. There's a few methods you can use to get in, such as TNT, creeper eggs, throwable creeper eggs, withers, sponges, and more. You kind of want to use your imagination with this. If you can come up with a way to get into their base, you should use it, as long as it follows all the rules and guidelines. I'm not going to be going over how to make TNT cannons or wither raid in this video, but I'm sure there are tons of good tutorials out there that you can find on your own. The next step to raiding a base is you need to be prepared to fight. If it's any good faction, they're likely going to have members online patrolling their base, making sure that no one's raiding it, and not to mention you can show up on the map, so you do want to be prepared for if any player logs on and tries to defend the base. Lastly, you need to worry about how you're going to loot this base. Let's assume you've made it inside the base and you've killed all the players trying to defend it. All you have to do is transport the loot back to your own base. Well, you could use the monotonous task of taking all the loot in your inventory, teleporting back to your base, and returning to the base that you're raiding, but this takes a little bit too long. You can use the command /f vault to deposit certain items into a virtual chest, which will be placed in your own faction's base. This makes the process much easier. You can also use the command /f checkpoint outside of the enemy's base so that you can warp to it easily, take the loot, and return back to your base. The second part of factions I'd like to talk about is defending your base. There's no point having a good raid and getting rich if you can't hold on to your wealth. I'm not going to touch too much on the topic of defending because I want you all to use your imagination to come up with what you think will be the best base defense. Whether you think putting water or blocks around your stuff would make it the best course of action, or trying to hide your base somewhere where no one will find it, that is entirely up to you, and I would love to see what you guys come up with. The main reason I've included this section is to make sure you guys know that this isn't a townie server. I've had people play in my servers in the past where they think it's a townie and they can never get raided. You will get raided if you treat it like this. I encourage you guys to protect your loot and treasure it, because you don't want other players coming along and stealing the stuff that you've worked very hard to earn. The last main category is the economy section. To be considered one of the best factions, you need to accumulate the most wealth. This can be done through player balance and spawners. Now this may sound much more important than raiding and defending, but the reason I have included it as the last category is because you need to be able to steal wealth from other factions and protect what you already have in order to worry about this category. Your guide to the economy is going to be /warp shop, or you can go through the portal at spawn if you don't have a rank. All of the signs have the prices listed for buying items and selling items, so you can go and explore and see what you think the best method would be for making quick and easy cash. I encourage you all to make mob grinders and farms on your base and experiment with what works the best. There are also a number of events on the server that do somehow correspond with the economy, such as supply drops, boss battles, and of course raiding. To briefly touch on supply drops, they'll be announced in the chat when they're happening and you'll be able to locate them on the map as well as using coordinates. Like I said, I wasn't going to keep you too long, so if you need any additional help, please join the Discord. I am going to be letting you guys know a few basic commands. If you need any help with the factions plugin, use /fhelp and it will give you all the useful commands. The main things you need to know, /fclaim, /fcreate, /fhome. There's tons of good stuff in there, make sure to check that out. A few other useful commands, /bal to view your balance, /spawn to TP to spawn. I could go on forever. If you have any questions though, do not hesitate to ask. We have a great community and we're here to support you guys.